Hey, what's up, YouTube? Salutations and greetings. You're watching KBTV, where knowledge is born, and you know who I am. I'm King David, and today's lesson for today is we're gonna talk about melanin or carbon, aka melanin, so that we can get a good understanding of what that is, because melanin is not a mineral. Okay, that's like an alias. Like my name's David, but people know me as Bo. Okay, melanin is an alias. It's really carbon. Okay, because you're made up of the four elements: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. Okay, so when they're talking about melanin all the time, they're really talking about carbon. Okay, which makes up the content of the color of your skin. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right on in. Um, let's just talk about the basic melanin system, how basically it works throughout the serotonin, because it produces the serotonin and melatonin. The pineal gland secretes and creates the carbon, melanin in your brain. So during the AM hours, the serotonin kicks in, okay? And that represents the physical properties. It retains youth, motor skills, nutrient absorption, disease protection, neutralizes toxins in the blood and things like that, prevents the spread of damaged cells, okay, speeds nerve impulses, absorbs full spectrum of light, That means the whole colors of the rainbow, we can absorb that, okay? Um, we're just like plants, okay? We're pretty much almost identical to the plants. Okay, we can absorb all that full spectrum of sunlight, the full color, in the eyes too. Okay, now the melatonin would be the PM, which is mental properties, enhances memory, increases communication, enhances feelings, enhances creativity. Okay, emotional properties, endorphin connection, spiritual properties, and sun connection. Okay, this is important. Okay. Your carbon is sunlight sufficient. We must need sunlight in order to nourish your melanin. Okay, not Kit Kats, not Skittles, not Pepsi Cola, not all that junk food. That's not gonna do it. Okay, that's gonna alter your DNA. All right. So that's the melatonin part. It's the PM. Serotonin is the AM. Now right now it's about 5 p.m. 5:30 p.m. and right now I'm enhancing my memory as I teach you guys. I'm learning at the same time, and as you know, and it's vice versa. And so my communication skills is increased because it's PM. So my melatonin is kicked in. All right. Excuse me. Now, go ahead and read something to you that I got off the internet. All right. Melanin theory is an ideology based on the supposed properties of melanin, the primary determinant of skin color in humans. Melanin theory argues that higher levels of melanin are directly correlated with increased intelligence, creativity, physical prowess, and supernatural abilities. Okay? Now I'm going to talk a little bit about condensed sunlight. Condensed sunlight is a melanocyte, which are the cells that make up the melanin that is contained in the physical body of human beings and plant life. Now I just said we're pretty much exactly like plants. I'm going to read it again. Condensed sunlight is a melanocyte. I'll write that down. It's a melanocyte, okay? It's a melanocyte, which are the cells that make up the melanin that is contained in the physical body and plant life. Okay? So a melanocyte is the cells that make up the melanin in the physical body. Okay, moving on. Melanin, aka carbon, is associated with the pigment that causes the skin to be the color that it is: brown, black, yellow, white, red. Melanin exists as the chemical key to life. The more melanin, carbon, someone has, the more civil that person is. The more psychic, the more information the brain can store, the faster the nerve transmission is, and the more sound you can absorb in the ear. Moreover, the more melanin one has, the more you can hear the full range of sound and the wider spectrum of light and color you can absorb in your eyes. Okay? So when they say don't look at the sun, you'll go blind, it's a lie. I sun gaze all the time. And we'll talk more about that in another teaching. The more melanin, carbon you have in your taste buds, the more you can taste the full flavor of the food that you eat. Carbon plays a part in your historical memory, which means the more melanin carbon you have, the more you are connected to the ancestors. You can pull thoughts you didn't even know exist because the carbon gives you ancestral memory. Races of people are classified by the amount of melanin in their pineal gland. Remember I talked about God is in the heaven. Okay? Heaven's in the head. Remember my past teachings. This is how melanin is measured. Every living thing has to have melanin. Black, brown, and white people have melanin, but they have it in a different scale. For example, white people have less melanin, and their melanin has sulfur in it, while black people's melanin has selenium in it. There are many different types of melanin, carbon, that could not be biologically come from the same source. But first, let's look at the human race and the word hue. The root of the word hue means color, and man means spirit, thinker, spirited thinking. People say everything is the same under the skin. They lie. Biochemically, there is a difference under the skin. Okay? African people have the most moist earwax than any other race. Also, their hair is different. Blacks have more vitamins and minerals in their bones, which is called nutrient density. Okay, so we got a high density in our bones, means that it's hard to break them. So there is a difference in that. The difference has to be treated differently. Okay, and this is coming from Johns Hopkins University of whatever university. All right. And then they got the different types of the melanin status. You know, type 1, lowest melanin content, Caucasians. Type 2 and 3, the yellow mixed brown race, Orientals. Type 4, brown and red people, Native Americans, Japanese. Type 5, black, brown, Native Americans, Indians. Black, brown, Native, Indians, Mexicans, and Himalayans is the type 5 black. Type 6 black will be the highest melanin content, which is Africans. Okay? Okay, now note, carbon determines the quality of life one has, not melanin. Carbon determines the quality of one's life, okay, not melanin. All right, this is the alias. Melanin is not a mineral. Remember I mentioned that in the beginning. Melanin is not a mineral. There is no melanin in the mineral chain. Throughout life, wherever there is a high concentration of carbon, the higher quality of life there is. Natural food is the recommended food source for people with high melanin content. Synthetic food would not nourish your melanin because vitally does not exist in these foods. Okay? So when I said don't be eating junk foods, Kit Kats and Skittles, that's not going to nourish your melanin. If you care anything about your black skin, which is beautiful, which you should care about, okay? You do better. If you knew better, you do better. So that's why I'm teaching. So we both can learn. You know, I'm learning as I'm teaching at the same time. Okay. To know thyself is to know carbon, aka melanin, period. All right? And it says it in your Bible for those who are religious, to know thyself inside and out. So to know carbon is to know thyself. To know thyself is to know carbon. Blacks have the highest content of melanin. Melanin is a civilized chemical. It produces itself. can be transformed in the blood, concentrates nerve in the brain information, converts substances, reduces/build another substance, and is unchanged by radiation at high temperatures. Melanin is inside and outside the body. The more melanin, aka carbon, the more humane and civilized a person or race. Carbon is the vital chemical that makes life itself. It is usually black or brown in color. It is flexible like plastic. Now, these are my own notes that I'm reading to you. It can resemble a cloud, gas, wood, metal, or liquid. It takes on many forms without losing its structure. It is heat resistant and it can endure temperatures up to 1,225 degrees Fahrenheit and is found in the environment, springs, lakes, soils, animals, atmosphere, etc. Plants. Melanin is made by cells called melanocytes, what we just talked about, melanocytes. Where was I? Melanin produces itself with substances such as copper. It absorbs all type of energy such as sunlight, electromagnetic, music heard by the ear, and sound you cannot hear. Radio waves, computer radiation, X-ray, cosmic rays, heat waves, etc. It also cycloplanets. Melanin is the natural chemical that makes black people that makes black people skin black. It is present in skin, cells, brain, muscles, bones, reproductive and digestive system. Melanin is secreted in the pineal gland. The pineal gland ability to secrete melanin is sunlight dependent. The sun radiates full color spectrum of light. Sunlight stimulates the pineal gland. If not, this will cause you physical and emotional problems. Melanin acts and reacts upon chemicals, and those chemicals can incorporate or fuse into the structure of the melanin and become one molecule. Melanin is the body's computer. Parents that eat junk food, consume drugs, will birth chemically altered children. Okay? Now, I just told you that eating Kit Kats and Skittles is not going to do it. If those chemicals that they put in these processed foods can fuse with your carbon as one molecule. So those chemicals that they put in the food is mixing with your DNA. It's becoming one because now the melanin, okay, doesn't know what to do. So it just combines it as one. Same with crack babies and all that stuff. So, all right, then you got a crack baby. Now you got, instead of a crack baby, you got a Skittle Kit Kat head baby. Come out the womb eating Skittles. Ah, you know what I'm saying? Crazy. You got a crazy baby. All right, so we don't want that. All right, so remember, it's sunlight dependent. Okay. The pineal gland's ability to secrete melanin is sunlight dependent. Remember, the pineal gland secrete carbon. The sun radiates full color spectrums of light. Full spectrum light striking the eyes, retina, nerve stimulates the pineal gland to secrete melanin. Remember I said, I stare at the sun. You stare at the sun, you're not going to go blind, but it's a certain way you have to do it. I don't recommend y'all going out there and just doing it. You have to learn this stuff, okay? Because it could mess with your vision if you don't do it right. But listen to what it just said. Full spectrum light striking the eyes, the retina, nerve stimulates the pineal gland. Melanin turns into serotonin hormone and melatonin hormone. Black people that spend vast amounts of time indoors and out of sunlight are exposed to the visual pollution of artificial light, sunglasses, television, reflected light of concrete, bricks, highways, and buildings, windows, glass, contact lens, monitors, television, screens, and fluorescent lights. Wireless cell phones, earphones, and cars tend to have mild depression. A polluted environment, public drinking water, noise pollution, negative moods or social situations, acidic the body conditions, lack of exercise, processed foods, synthetic drugs, and computers decrease melanin production and the stimulation of the pineal. Okay? Now I just read this from this book here, and I got a lot of my notes and stuff from this book. Okay, it's a pamphlet, just like how how the Willie Lynch letter was, the book I showed you on the Willie Lynch letter, it's the same thing. It ain't but like 65 pages, but it got some of the most important, good information in this book. And the reason why I get these pamphlets because they're short, but compact with full, good information. So y'all don't have to read 300 pages just to get the concept of what's going on. You know, I can read the first 30 and get a good concept of what's going on. You know, it's only 65 pages, so if I needed to read it over, it's not going to take a lot of time. Okay? All right, so eating all that junk food, not going to cut it. Y'all, you know, like I talked about in my last video, in the Willie Lynch letter, when I talked about how people are just, you know, how they captured the mind and kept the body for future labor. Okay, we're a human resource. We're basically a battery. And they're using our power and energy all the time. And by the time you get home from work, working from 8 to 5 or 4 at 9 to 5, the sun then went down, so you done lost getting the sunlight, energy from the sunlight that's going to nourish your melanin in your pineal gland, because now you're in the house sleep. Getting artificial light from the TV, your cell phone, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And that's artificial light. Artificial meaning not real, meaning not natural. Okay, so I just want to explain that to you. Carbon is what we're talking about. Melanin is just a name they gave it. It's not a mineral. Melanin is not in the mineral chain. Okay? Melanocytes is the cells that make up the carbon in the physical body. Okay? Your pineal gland sits in the brain right here. When they talk about the eye of Horus, they're talking about the pineal gland. This is what your brain looks like. Look it up. Google it. Google pineal gland. This is what your brain looks like, okay? So this is your third eye. Boop, wake it up. Stop eating Kit Kats. All right, get sunlight. Exercise. All right, that's your pineal gland. But that's also, when they talk about eye of Horus, they're talking about the sun, okay? Literally, if the sun went away right now, literally, every living organism will cease to exist. It will die without the sun, okay? So when I talk about Jesus Christ, you're talking about the sun, okay? Heliobiblios in Greek means sun book. Why would they call the Bible the sun book? Why, the sun clock. You can go right now outside, look at the sun, and see what time it is. Okay? Horus is the hour. Minute is the moon. All right? The more you do your research and understand, the more you will understand what I'm talking about, and then you can foresee the knowledge for yourself. Okay? So, the eye of Horus is here and in the sky. All right? Give us life and energy every day the sun comes up. Bam. Eye of Horus. Sun. All right? We are condensed sunlight. Okay? All right, we are condensed sunlight. Remember, melanocyte is the cells that make up the carbon in the physical body. Now, where did the melanocyte come from? Melanocyte comes from condensed sunlight. Sunlight. So when sunlight condenses, it gets physical. It turns into a melanocyte, which makes up the physical properties for the carbon cells in the body. All right? Thank you for tuning in today. I appreciate you guys and all my subscribers and followers. I thank y'all for participating and sharing. That means a lot. I see you guys out there sharing the video. That means you're paying attention. And as long as I can go out there and reach somebody every day, that's my mission. Okay. Like I always say in Spanish, te veo luego, que tenga un buen día. Have a good day. See you later. Peace.